I think what is first and foremost very important to highlight that we believe that we have to operate with internationally recognized figures and statistics. So, I mean, we have the European statistical office, which is called Eurostat. So I checked the figures very carefully, and I can tell you that from our perspective, it's true that Europe has a trade surplus in goods in the level of 154 billion euros, but the US has a quite significant surplus in services on the level of 104 billion euros. So if we look at the category, which is again internationally recognized category of the trade in goods and services, so then our trade deficit is 50 billion. So that's the figure with which we operate. I know that our American partners, they operate with different figure. And if you look at 50 billion comparing to 1.5 or 1.6 trillion, so it's like 3% of our trade. We should be able to solve it, no? And that's my clear conviction. I mean, in my previous mandate, I was responsible for energy security. I was in charge of common purchase of gas because we had the energy crisis because of the war in Ukraine. And I was very often in the United States. I even was once invited by President Trump to open LNG export terminal in his previous mandate. So I know that there is a huge interest from LNG export community in the United States to export to such a, I would say, lucrative partners like the European Union, where you have quite clear perspective how much gas would be needed, and that we are kind of diversifying and moving away from traditional suppliers. So there I see the potential which was proven in the past years also for the future. Second, I would say a big element is, and very often our US partners are highlighting the importance for agriculture. And again, I mean, over the years, our agriculture sector has to a great extent been quite compatible because they are, I think, very important producers of soybeans, and we are, I would say, one of the most important consumers of the soybeans because we simply need it for our farmers. Then there are, of course, the new sectors like AI chips, where again I think we are clearly interested in the same direction. We both want to build the AI factories. For that you need these huge, AI quality chips powers, and we have the printing machines which are printing the chips. They have the technology, and I believe that we are allies and should have the same interest in that regard. On top of this, I would say numerical elements, how to address the deficit, and for sure, I mean, there will be a lot of other issues which we can discuss. What I was also proposing to our American counterparts is the closer cooperation in tackling the challenges which unfortunately we share. So what I'm talking about, if it comes to the steel and aluminum, we are not each other's problem. Their production is going down, our production is going down. We both lost a lot of capacity over the last 5 years, not because of each other, but because of the global overcapacity. Wouldn't that be a good idea to look at it, I mean, together, how to address the real problem which our steel sector has, and this is global overcapacity. How to coordinate better, how to work better in that area. The same I can say about the dependency on the critical raw materials. I mean, there have been different initiatives in the past, like the Mineral Pact and different, I would say, bodies which we've been trying to form, but unfortunately they stayed on paper. We didn't deliver much with the concrete projects. And again, I mean, we need for all future-oriented economies, we need common approach in having more diversified supplies of critical raw materials. The same I can tell you about the ingredients for pharmaceuticals and many other areas. I simply believe that being such a close allies for 70 plus years, being the biggest cross-border investor it was pretty natural that also the supply chains, the companies, they kind of set up the shops in both in EU and US, and we are now kind of building the barriers in the middle of this trade, which I think that would bring the harm to the consumer, would increase the prices, would increase the inflation, and therefore we are just using all our arguments to convince our US partners that there are better ways how to bring prosperity to both EU and America. We are also showing lots of understanding and support, I have to say, for their aim to reindustrialize US. We are doing the same in the European Union, and we are just simply absolutely convinced that if you do it as a partners, that we will have much better result.
And I'm sorry, but due to next